Welcome back to News 3 Today. February is American Heart Month. You have the power to take action to protect yourself against heart disease. Perhaps no one knows that better than today's guest, Dr. Toomer, a family physician and founder of Total Weight Care Institute, who despite a dire prognosis was able to overcome health challenges, and she is here to tell us more about it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we get into this interview, I have to mention that you are a homegirl. You worked over in the Low Country for many years.
I did.
Have
and
family
that's
here?
Where I have a lot of family there. My husband grew up in Jasper County.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so when we talk about heart disease, you want to bring to light some of the what you call notable disparities in the occurrence and treatment of heart disease.
Yes. From my own experience and also from many of my patients' experience, sometimes our symptoms are ignored or dismissed for lesser serious diagnoses, and that's what happened to me. I was misdiagnosed with pneumonia when I was actually in congestive heart failure.
Wow.
And because our symptoms are very similar, shortness of breath, cough, fatigue. I had just had a baby also. And that happens sometimes with pregnancy. And so when you say you're tired after having a baby, nobody thinks it's your heart. And so, and a lot of the fluid overload and the other things that we notice, leg swelling, you know, are very common in a lot of things that women experience. And so many times it gets overlooked or downgraded to something else.
And this really impacted your life for quite some time, for about a decade, and, and you decided to do something about it.
Yes, I did. For about 10 years, I recovered. It took me that long to recover. I had a 50% chance of living a year with my diagnosis. And so, and I was diabetic, I was on insulin, I was over 100 pounds overweight, and my husband being a physician also, we just put our heads together and we just came up with a plan to keep my life, really. And it took quite a while. It took me 10 years before I could go back into medicine.
So what did that plan include? It's obvious that you lost the weight, so and you've kept it off for 20 years now?
23.
23 years now.
Yes. Part of that was getting my diabetes under control quickly. One of the beautiful things about diabetes is that it's meal to meal. You can get it controlled just in one meal. And so we really worked hard. My weight followed, and as a result, my heart had to do less work. The other that I did was I paid attention to my doctors. I took my medication like I was supposed to. I visited my doctors when I was supposed to. I never missed an appointment. And I kept track of everything. And fortunately, I was able to use my keeping track of everything to help my patients later do the same, help reverse their diabetes, help to lose weight, help to keep their hearts healthy as well.
Now, what part does depression play in all of this?
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, cardiac disease causes depression in and of itself. Postpartum depression, as we all know about. I also had low-level chronic depression, probably from medical school and residency. And so when it saps you of your motivation, it makes you tired, it makes you unable to see the future. It makes you feeling of hopelessness and helplessness. And so treating that first gave me what I needed, the motivation I needed to then pay attention to everything else.
Now, we know that heart disease is the number one killer for women, but for Black women, it's even worse.
Yes. Mainly because our symptoms tend to be a little bit different. We have our symptoms in our stomach. We get heartburn, we get stomach pain, or we have back pain. We think it's because we slept wrong, or we feel anxious. And so we think that it's our nerves when it's actually our heart giving us a warning that something's going on. And so what it's really, really important is our screening. At 50 years old, we should have a screening heart test to make sure that our heart is fine. Every year we should have our EKG, sorry, not echocardiogram. But there are other tests when something's abnormal. Follow up and follow through.
Okay, and one last thing, because we have run out of time, but Total Weight Care Institute, tell us how we can find out more about this.
You can find out more about this by going to my website, drtoomer.com. That's drtoomer.com.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today with this valuable information. Thank you, we appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast.